So, good morning, everyone. I'm Jacqueline at Spirited Practice. And what I'd like to start off with today, I'm going to just close this door behind us. I want you to take a comfortable seat, some way that you can breathe fully with your body. And you might be, sitting symmetrically. We talked a little bit about that last week. You might be cross-legged. You might kneel or stretch your legs out. You might even be laying down on your back. And then I want you to bring one hand onto your chest and one hand onto your belly. And so the way I have my hands, I actually have my thumb kind of towards my diaphragm and my fingers are below the navel. And so I can feel that whole bottom of my torso as I'm breathing. And so as you settle in, just starting to focus on your breath and long, smooth inhales and exhales, and letting go of whatever it is that you've been thinking about or doing before you showed up to your mat, and thinking about how you feel or noticing how you feel in this moment, and then thinking about how you want to feel when we're done with practice today. And you might wonder why I always or many times ask you to put your hands on your body, and that's so that you can feel your breath in your body. That's a way of connecting with your body. And I was chatting with someone before class and just saying that this has been a really emotional time for me, and not for any specific reason, just kind of all the big reasons. And when that comes up, for some of us humans, we want to leave our bodies. And I'm one of those people. So I kind of, when I'm feeling emotional, walk around with my hands on my body. It's a way to remind me that I am, in a human body. And so take one last nice deep breath and set your intention for how you want to feel. And then we're going to release the hands. And from here, I want you to have a couple of tennis balls. And we're going to start so you're going to sit up, right, and take your tennis balls and lift your legs up and just go right in front of your sits bones. And then you can either move side to side with your knees or front to back. So talking about what we were going to work on today, hips came up, so we're going to do that. And I thought we'd do a little bit of legs and then a little bit of core, and not necessarily like the core that you think of when, like planking for 5 minutes or something. Now, as you're working the tennis balls into, the front of the pelvis where the hamstrings kind of connect into the pelvis, we're going to move the tennis balls out to either side. So again, your butt's still on the floor and you're kind of pushing the tennis balls in and then moving your knees side to side. And you're still breathing, so notice if you've already let go of your breath, and reconnect with your breath and move into your tennis balls. And always, of course, in a way that feels good. Now, at one point, we're going to come down onto an elbow or onto a block, and I want you to work that tennis ball into your glute as deeply as it feels comfortable, right? So that means you're not cringing, and you can control how much weight is in the ball by pressing down, putting weight into your elbow and forearm and into your leg that's on the bottom to take out some of the pressure on the hip. And you're going to keep breathing. Now, and some of you may want to move around a little bit more, right? You're going to explore and see what feels good in your body. But whenever you're done with that side, we're going to move to the second side. So again, you're never putting the tennis ball right under your bone, right? You're putting it into the muscle and maybe some of the connectors connecting bones to muscles. Okay, and so exploring and seeing, which position supports you the most as you're rolling around in your tennis ball. And of course, if you decide that your body doesn't need this today, you can be doing something else with the tennis balls, right? Or whatever. So again, you're kind of working your way into that tennis ball in a way that feels good to you. And whenever you start to feel complete, and sometimes, like just now, I found this spot and my body's like, I think we're going to stay here for a moment, right? So you might not want to move all of the time. But whenever you start to feel done, you're going to lift yourself up, take both tennis balls again, and you're going to place them. So now your butt's on the floor, you lean forward, place the tennis balls in, come back, bend your knees, and again, we're going to take the knees side to side. And someone just came in.
I'm sorry, my clock upstairs is wrong.
That's okay. I just have to put my mask on.
Oh, that's all right. I can move farther away.
And so you're going to move through your low back in the tennis balls, and you're taking, your time and seeing what feels good to you. And then we're going to come down onto our back body and what you might want to have close by. So I have a strap and I have a couple of blocks. And if you have any kind of bolster or blankets, you're going to have them close by too for our practice today. So you're going to make your way down onto your back body and relax your head and your shoulders. Feel your feet on the ground, and the feet are about hip width apart. Long, smooth breaths. We're going to stretch our arms out to the sides. And then you're going to slowly start to move both knees side to side. So inhale is center, exhale, you move the knees to one side. And I know you're probably thinking, we usually do one leg at a time, but today we're going to do both legs at the same time. Now, if you want to add in turning the head in the opposite direction of the knees, you can do that. And because we're at the beginning of our practice, we're not going as deeply as we can, right? You're starting off with smaller movements, preparing the body to go a little bit more deeply. Now, as we do this a number of times, like my body wants to deepen as we continue on. So let's say next time you finish your second side and come through the center, you're going to reach for the right knee, and you're going to bring that knee as close to your body as it feels comfortable. We're going to roll through the ankle or point and flex the foot. And you're just going to get yourself set up however you need. And then we're going to lace the fingers on the back of the leg, on the hamstrings. Now inhale, you're going to press up like you're trying to lift the ceiling tiles, and exhale, take that knee in towards the chest. Inhale, press up. Exhale, come into the chest. And so as we're reaching up with that foot, pressing thigh into hands, hands into thigh, and then as you exhale, you're still pulling on the back of the thigh.
Do you want a map?
No, I left my map here, I thought, because I didn't have it when I left the car, so I was
All right, next time your knee comes into your chest, we're gonna relax that foot to the ground. Pause, notice how your body's feeling. And then when you're ready, bring the left knee in, and we're gonna roll through the ankle. And again, a couple of times in each direction, you might point and flex the foot. You're still breathing, noticing how your body feels. And when you're done rolling through the foot, we're going to straighten the leg, interlace the fingers on the back of the thigh. So inhale is when the leg is extended up. Exhale, coming into the chest. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, into the chest. Moving with your breath in a way that feels really good. I'm going to do one more. Now, this time, once your knee is bent, we're going to bring up the second leg, right? And at first, we're just gonna take the knees into a slow circular motion, right? Feeling that the different parts of the low back and pelvis connecting to the floor. And then after a few times, pausing and going in the other direction. And this is a great time to like check in and like, how does my low back feel? How are my hips feeling? Since we talked about that's what we want to work on. Then carefully, we're gonna bring both feet to the floor and rolling over to the side. You're gonna bring yourself up and let's come all the way up to standing. So, and I'm hoping I have my camera set up so you can actually see see my head. There's all these videos of no head. All right, let's see how that looks. Okay, so I want you to make your way up and we're going to roll on a tennis ball. So one tennis ball needed for this part. And if you don't have a tennis ball, so you could roll on the tennis ball, but if you don't have a tennis ball, you could turn your toes underneath or come up onto your toes, right? But hopefully, eventually you find a tennis ball or something similar, just nothing too hard. So we're doing a hip practice today. Did you want
That's
to
good,
add?
'cause my low back starting is really bothering me. Even though I've been walking and stuff, I've still been sitting too much.
Okay. All right, so, and make sure that you give the same amount of attention to both feet. And remember last week I talked about the spine being on the bottom of the foot. Let's find my balance first. I want you to focus today. I'm gonna come closer. And I want you to focus on the front part of the heel, right? The inside front part of the heel. It probably has a technical name that I don't know of. Maybe not. So we talked about, because that would be where the low back is located, right? According to reflexology. And it's always interesting to see how you feel side to side too, left to right. So make sure you check out both feet. And definitely on my feet, one feels more intense than the other.
Oh wait, we're switching?
Yeah, we're switching. So if you haven't switched, definitely want to switch. Okay.
Who's online?
4 or 5 people. I can't, they don't have their cameras on when we're. Okay, so now what I want you to do is feel your feet on the ground. You're gonna set your tennis ball off to a safe place. And before we start our movement today, I want you to place one or both hands on the low abdominals, right? And what I want you to do, so I realized when I was talking to some of my college students that I say engage your core, but nobody really is sure what that means, right? So, or they're not, I mean, they're just not sure, like, so they ask lots of questions. So what I want you to do, the first thing you're gonna do, like, so your fingertips are coming towards the center, and I want you to invite those lower abdominals in and up, right? And so your hands are there to tell you if that's happening. And so for me, as soon as of course, I've been doing a lot of these kind of exercises lately, but notice if you can feel anything. And then we're going to keep our hands here as we come up onto our toes. So the inhale is going to be come up onto your toes, exhale, heels come down. And notice if your lower abdominals underneath your hands feel differently. Inhale is up, exhale is down. Okay, now next time heels come down, we're gonna keep the heels down. Inhale's gonna be up, exhale, you're gonna sit like you're sitting into a chair, right? But we're not gonna sit all the way down into a chair. Inhale up, exhale, sit back. And again, notice what's happening in those lower abdominals and your low back, because these are, as I always say, are intimately connected, right? We're gonna do it one more time. And we're not going for the full deep squat bend, right? We're doing like kind of like a half chair. So next time you come up, we're gonna release the hands. So we did that part and you felt that. So now I want you to see, we're gonna take our hands off and see if you can still connect like that. So we're gonna inhale, arms up, come up onto the toes, and exhale, come down. And we'll do that a few times. And try not to forget about those lower abdominals, because yes, they are connected to the hips. Now, next time we come up, one arm forward, one arm back, hands meet overhead. This is our brain challenge for the morning. I know. And when you finish your second side, I want you to pause and notice, like, how many of you still felt those abdominals as we were doing that, right? Now you're gonna take your hands back onto those lower abdominals again. And here, I want you to bring your weight into the right foot and lift up your left knee. And then we're gonna take that knee down and then take the other one up. So again, noticing, and of course, if you need to have a hand on the wall as you do this, that would be totally okay. If you can have one hand on your body though, that would be great. Okay, and next time you finish your second side, you're gonna pause for a moment. We're gonna keep our hands on our body. We're gonna lift up the right knee, flex the foot, and you're gonna roll through that lower leg. And we're sticking with movements that most of you know already, a couple of times in each direction, and you're still having the hands there and seeing if you can feel anything. So many things for the mind to think about. We're gonna take that foot down, second leg comes up, flex the foot, and again, start to make those circles. And you notice, do you feel any movement in your lower abdominals as you're moving the leg? Keep breathing. I know it's too many things to think about. We're gonna pause and put that foot down. And then I want you to just take a nice full breath without thinking, right? Let go of thinking for a moment. And then we're gonna bring the hands onto the thighs. Inhale's gonna be up, exhale, slide down. And you're gonna do this a few times, and your knees can be bent. It's whatever feels good in your body, right? We want to get a nice stretch through the whole back body. And if your hamstrings are screaming at you, or if it just feels better, you bend those knees. And one more time. And the next time that we come up, I want you to roll through your shoulders. So we're going to do one at a time today, and you're going to exaggerate it. Inhale up, shoulder towards the ear, exhale, take it back. Moving with your breath. Beautiful. Now, next time you finish that second side, hopefully you're towards the front of your mat. And if you'd like to use blocks, you're going to have them towards the front. So here, I want you to bring your hands to your heart center, right? So your hand and your thumbs are resting on your breastbone, your sternum. And there's a gentle pressure, heel of the hands and fingertips, a little space in between the hands. And you're going to connect with your breath. Now, I want you to feel both of your feet on the ground, all 4 points of each foot. And then what you're going to do, so before we were lifting the knee up, now we're going to step back. So weight's on the left foot, and you're going to step back into a high lunge. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, step back, and we're going to alternate feet. Now, obviously, if you need to release your hands for balance, you're going to do this. And you'll notice I'm not moving through this quickly, right? We're moving with our breath. And one more time on the left side. And then you're going to pause. Notice your heart rate, notice body temperature, how you're feeling. And this time we're going to step back with the right foot and we're going to stay. So nice big inhale. And with your exhale, stepping back. If it's comfortable, you stay up on your toes. We're going to reach those hands up towards the sky. Of course, unless it doesn't feel good, then keep your hands down. All right, now inhale, you're going to bend the elbows, bring them back, and straighten that front leg. Exhale, bend the knee, extend the arms. Inhale, pull down, and straighten the leg. Exhale. Move with your breath. Always safe. I'd take your back foot towards the windows a little bit. And one more time. All right, now here we are. Our knee is bent, our arms are extended. We're going to inhale here. Exhale, we're going to come into a forward bend. So hands come down, back foot comes forward. Now we're going to inhale halfway up and exhale into our legs. Now I'm going to bring up those lower abdominals again. How are they feeling as we do this? Can you feel them? And next inhale will come all the way up. Pause, but you're still breathing. Hands to the heart center, thumbs resting on the sternum, heels of the hands, fingertips connected. Feel your right foot into the ground. Nice big inhale, and you're gonna step back. Nice deep high lunge. Reach those arms up if appropriate for you. And then next inhale, you're gonna pull down the arms, straighten the legs. Exhale, sink into your lunge, arms come up. Move with your breath. This will be our last one. So we're gonna inhale, the arms extended, knee bent, exhale into your forward bend. Inhale, slide halfway up, and exhale into your legs. And just a few times. And the next inhale will come all the way up. And you're gonna, again, pause. How's that heart rate? How you feeling? How are those lower abdominals? Okay, now I want you to step your feet out. So maybe as wide as your mat, maybe a little bit wider. And what I want you to do is take your hands to the outside, inhale up, and exhale, slide down. Now next time you come up, engage those lower abdominals just a little bit. We're not sucking in our gut or squeezing our butt, right? It's so that you are inviting them to participate in this movement. Now, if you want to start to slide the outside elbow up, you can do that, sliding your hand up the side body. And again, if it sounds inviting, you're going to start to bring your vision towards that lifted elbow side. It's so good. I could sit here and do this for a while because it feels so good in my body. Now, next time you come over to the right side, we're going to stay and we're going to take that elbow, the bent elbow arm, and we're going to reach it overhead. Okay, and you could even use this low hand to help lift you up. Make sure the side body and the back body feel good. You might even have a slight bend in your knees. We're going to turn the palm up towards the sky and start to press. And then on an inhale, come on up. And then you're going to slide down second side. Take that bent elbow arm, reach it up overhead. And again, make sure that side body is not overextended. Turn the palm up and press. And notice how it feels in your body, like what happens as you press with that hand. And if you're not sure, relax and then do it. Keep breathing. Inhale on up. Now we're going to take our hands onto our thighs. You're going to see if you can connect with those lower abdominals. Inhale up, and you're going to take the heels of the hands into that crease where your torso and your thigh meets and press in. Stick your butt out just a little bit. Not a deep squat here, but there is a bend in the knees. And we're going to breathe. So I want you to inhale, let those lower abdominals expand. Exhale, gently bring them in and up, right? Inhale, expand, exhale, contract. And if you're not sure if that's happening, take one hand off of one of your thighs and put it onto your lower abdominals. So inhale, expand, get bigger, exhale, gentle contraction, right? We're not sucking it in. You've done this many times with me before. Now, next time after you exhale and gently bring those lower abdominals in, you're gonna think in and up, like you're trying to bring your belly up to where your diaphragm is, in and up, but you only do that after you've exhaled completely. So inhale, expand, exhale, contract, and release all of your air. And then this is the pause after the exhale, lower abdominals in and up. And then inhale, expand, exhale, contract, empty completely, pause after the exhale, in and up, inhale, expand. One more time, because this is a lot of work. Exhale, contract, empty completely, in and up, inhale, expand, and stand up, and shake out your hips and your arms. How did that feel? Too much, or? Good? Okay. All right. So from here, let's have a block, and we're gonna have the block on the outside of the right foot, and you may or may not use it, but we're gonna have it there. And your hands are gonna be on your hips or your heart center, whatever feels good. Weight is in the right foot, and you're gonna stretch out the left leg and flex that foot. And on an exhale, you're gonna start to take that leg up behind you. The body's gonna follow the leg, and then you're gonna bend that knee, find your block, and step back. I know, it's a challenge. You wanna make sure that your feet are hip width apart, okay? Hand is gonna be on the block, right hand on the block, left hand on your hip. Now you're gonna step that block out a little bit, maybe off to the side 6 inches and forward 3 or 4, and you're gonna press with your back foot and lift that leg up. Ooh. Breathe and focus. Now, if possible, you're gonna open the hips and the shoulders, and your leg might be parallel with your body. The foot is flexed like you're pressing it into the wall. In fact, you could press it into the wall, and then you might extend that left arm up. Keep breathing. Head is pointed in whatever direction feels good, floor, straight ahead, or up towards the sky. Hand comes down, close the hips and shoulders, bend the front knee, step back. Now find your balance, both hands come onto the hips. We're gonna come out the same way we came in. So lift yourself up, and then bring that foot back in line. I know, is that too much?
This hip just gets sore right here.
Let's work it out. All right, we're gonna do the second side. So the block is gonna be on the outside of your left foot. Weight is in the left foot, hands wherever they're comfortable. Again, you're gonna shift your weight to the left, lift the right leg up with your breath. So inhale, exhale, start to lift that leg up. The right leg up, and then you're gonna bend the left knee and step back. Hand is gonna come onto the block. And you're gonna walk the block forward and out a little bit. And again, in your own time, pressing with that back foot, lift up, open the hips and the shoulders, possibly extend the right arm up, find a comfortable place for your head. The right foot is flexed like you're pressing into a wall. Still breathing, long, smooth breaths. When you're ready to come down, hand comes down, close the hips and shoulders towards the floor, bend the knee, come back into your high lunge. Find your balance, hands onto your hips, make sure you're breathing. And on the inhale, woo, come on up. And that foot is gonna come alongside. Woo. All right, so I want to make our way down to the ground. And you might have a blanket so that your knees are comfortable on the floor. And we're gonna start, and we're not gonna be here for very long, but we're gonna start with our knees under our hips and our hands under our shoulders, and we're gonna step that right foot forward, okay? So the left knee is behind the hip, so you're opening the front of that hip flexor. Now you're gonna move with your breath, so you might have blocks under your hands. You're gonna straighten that leg, flex the foot, maybe reach your head towards the knee, and then you're gonna come forward into your modified lunge. And again, you might stay here for a full breath. Some of you might want to move more quickly back and forth. You're gonna see what feels good in your body. And like I said, some of you might like a little bit more room with blocks under your hands. Okay, next time that you come forward, we're gonna step that foot back and come forward with your left foot. And again, right knee is behind the hip. And working with your breath, your pace, how you want to move. Are these things all aggravating you?
No.
No.
Was I making faces? I just have tight hamstrings.
So maybe this is the right thing.
Yeah. My wrists are not happy.
Yeah, you could be, if your wrists hurt, you could be on blocks. You can't really come onto your elbows, but you could have your forearms on the blocks depending on the length of your arms. Now, again, next time we come forward, we're going to step that left foot back and we're going to come into a kneeling position. And so just for a moment, I want you to roll through your shoulders. So this time we're going to do both. So inhale, shoulders up, exhale, take them down the back body. And again, exaggerating so that you're moving your shoulder blades as much as you can. And then what I'd like to do, we'll do one here. And so let's start with the arms at the sides. You're going to inhale, sweep both arms up in line with the ears, and exhale, hands onto the pelvis, forehead towards the ground. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, hands onto the pelvis, and your head may or may not come to the ground, and you could have a blanket or a block under your forehead. One more time. Now, once we come down, we're going to release the hands from the low back and we're going to stretch them out. If this bothers your knees or you have a hard time breathing, you could be on your back body with your knees in towards your chest. Long, smooth breaths. Now I want you to shift your hips over to the left, walk your hands over to the right. Still breathing, getting a nice stretch through your hip and your side body. Inhale, come back through the center. And then shift your hips over to the right and walk your hands over to the left. Again, long stretch through the side bodies here into the outside of the hips. Again, we're going to make our way back through the center. And here we are going to, this is where I want you to have some stuff. And I was just having this little fantasy that we should have a chair. And so what I want you to do, we're not going to start with the chair, but I'm going to think about it, how I can do this. Okay, so what I want you to do is we're going to come down onto our backs with our knees bent. So find a safe way to get yourself onto your back body. And automatically, as soon as I get onto my back body, I like my knees in towards my body, feet off the floor. You might have your feet on the floor. And you're just going to feel the parts of your body and where they're connected to the floor. So the back of the head, back of the shoulders. Notice which parts of your back body are connected to the floor. I'm going to take my feet down to the ground now. And as soon as I do that, part of my back body lifts away, which is very natural. And you're just gonna keep breathing, long, smooth breaths. Now here, let's see, what do we have close by? Looking for my strap. All right, so we're gonna use our strap now. So knees are bent. You're gonna take the strap on the padded part of the right foot. You can probably guess what's coming, some of you. Okay, so your right leg is perpendicular to the ground, the foot is flat, the strap is on the padded part of the foot, the left knee is bent. Okay, now we're gonna keep that leg pointing directly up towards the sky to the best of our ability, and we're gonna pivot it out. And I always joke around that this is when we like walk like a duck or a penguin, right? So we're holding this position for 30 to 45 seconds. So the foot is turned out, the whole leg is turned out actually, and the leg is perpendicular to the ground. Cordelia, bring your leg a little bit towards me. Like meaning towards this side of the room, not, yeah. And then you're gonna drop that left knee out to the side, so you're on the pinky toe side of the left foot. And you'll notice I did not drop my leg down, right? My leg is still pointing towards the sky. And you're noticing where you feel sensation in the different parts of your legs and hips, maybe even in your torso or shoulder. Now we're gonna come back to neutral with the foot and the knee and the leg. And then you're gonna keep your foot flat to the best of the ability, and you're gonna turn your foot in as if you walked with your toes pointing towards one another. I haven't thought of an animal that does that. Then you're gonna take your left foot, walk it out a little bit, and drop your left knee in towards the center. Continue to breathe. For most of us, the knee will not come close to the floor, so don't worry about that. Long, smooth breaths. Time flies when you're having fun. I just looked at the clock. It's like, oh no. Okay, now we're gonna come back to neutral, and this is where it gets really fun. You're gonna take both straps into the left hand. Your right hand is gonna come around the right leg and find your left foot. Now, for some of us, we cannot hold on to the foot and bring the knee to the ground. If that's you, just let go of the foot, okay? And then my right foot is flexed in the strap. I'm holding the straps with my left arm, and I'm slowly bringing that right leg across my body. My right hip will come up off of the floor. I try to keep my shoulders down. They may or may not stay down. And then my head can be pointing towards the ceiling, or because I want to look at all of you, it's pointed away from where my leg is. And then you're gonna make space between your hip and your body by pressing your glute, your butt, away from your torso. So you're trying to make your body long here. And you're still breathing long, smooth breaths too, right? Keep breathing. Carefully, we're gonna make our way back up with the leg, let go of your foot, bring your left foot down to the ground. You're gonna take that strap off the right foot and bring your foot down. Some people like to stretch out their legs here. I like to keep my legs bent, but you're gonna see how you feel from side to side. Take a breath or two. And hopefully you notice a little bit of a difference. And then we're gonna move to the second side. So you'll take the strap on the padded part of the left foot. Your right knee is bent with that foot flat on the floor. And at first, your leg is perpendicular. You're gonna turn your foot, leg, and knee out to the left, and then you're gonna take your right knee down towards the floor. You're on the pinky toe side of the right foot. And you're gonna keep breathing. You know, and for some of us, like the movement is not a big movement, right? And some of us prefer, like, it's easier to turn the foot out or in, you know, and it's just how we're made, right? Keep breathing. Now we're gonna come back to the center with the knee and the foot. Leg is still perpendicular to the ground. Now we're gonna try to keep the foot flat and turn the toes in towards the right. And then you're gonna walk your right foot out and drop your right knee towards the center. So you might be feeling things that you haven't felt in a while or ever. Long, smooth breaths. So we're gonna make our way back to the center with the knee and the foot. This is where the straps are gonna come into the right hand. You're gonna lift up your right foot. Left hand comes around and finds your right foot maybe. Maybe that knee comes down to the ground. Maybe you're holding on to your right foot, maybe you're not. And then slowly you're gonna lower that left leg towards the floor. Maybe your shoulders stay relaxed on the floor, and then once your leg is in a comfortable place, and you don't let it drop down to the floor, right? You're holding it with the strap. You're going to push away with your buttock, right? Your left buttock, and try to lengthen your torso. Keep breathing, long, smooth breaths. And then very carefully, when you're ready, we're going to let go of the foot, bring the leg up, take the strap off, and we're going to take both knees into our chest, and you might roll around a couple of times, or you might have your feet on the ground or have your legs extended. What helps you explore your body, right? And just check in and see how you're feeling. All right, so from here, we're going to take the feet off the ground, put the thighs in the hands, hands in the thighs. Gentle, isometric, thighs into hands, hands into thighs. Inhale, your thighs are perpendicular to the ground. Exhale, thighs come in towards the body. Inhale away, exhale into your body. If it doesn't feel good in your back body, don't do the isometrics, just move your legs with your hands. Now this is the time where I want you to ask yourself if your body needs anything else. And so and then you're gonna do that. For our Shavasana, what I was thinking is I want to do something where the legs are lifted. So a couple of options. If you have a bolster or some folded blankets, you would take them all the way up to the back of your hips and stretch your legs out on them, right? Or, I'm just gonna step over here, and you can have this one if you want, after I model. Or you can have a chair, and you could use like a bed or the bottom of the sofa, depending on where you are, and having the legs elevated. So what this does, right, when I lift my legs like this, and just the weight of my legs helps them to stay here. Sometimes I like to have a sandbag at the ankles, but we're not using those right now. But when I do this, it takes the pressure off the low back. And you want to have your legs at a good height for you, depending on the length of your legs and everything. And if your butt is lifted because of the height of the chair, you definitely want to have a nice soft blanket under your hips. Okay, so, and if those don't appear, you could do legs up the wall or just lay flat. But I'm thinking today having the legs elevated would be really nice. Would you like this chair? Sure. Okay. So, get yourselves into a comfortable position. Okay, so you're going to get yourself comfortable. You're gonna make sure that you're warm. You're gonna make sure that you're in a space so that as you exhale and soften, your body is completely supported. So of letting go of control, like controlling your breath, controlling your body, and just making sure that you are as supported as much as you can be. And this would be a great time to check in and ask yourself, is there anything, any little tweak that you could make to your position that would help you to be just a little bit more comfortable? Shraddhaye Namaha. Om Shraddhaye Namaha. Om Shraddhaye Namaha. So as you start to bring your awareness back to your body and your breath, just take a moment and check in and ask yourself, do you want to sit up and do we're going to do a Nyasam chanting practice, or do you want to continue to lay on the ground and then do whatever your body desires in this moment? And for those of you who are going to join in, I invite you to come up and find a comfortable seat. Again, it could be cross-legged, symmetrical kneeling, stretching the legs out. And we're going to place the hands on the thighs with the palms up. And in the Nyasam, it's a moving mudra, so a gesture seal. And your thumbs are going to come to the base of the index finger and slide up and down. And then move to the middle finger and slide up and down. And then the ring finger up and down, and then the pinky. And the inhale is going to be up, and the exhale is going to be down. Okay, so we're going to do that first, and then we're going to add in a chant. Okay, so inhale as you slide up, and you can use whatever breath works for you. Ujjayi is great. Exhale, slide down. Move to the middle finger. Inhale, slide up. Exhale, slide down. And we all have different lengths of breath, right? So you're going to move at your own pace. And then the ring finger. And then the pinky whenever you get there. Now we're going to go back to the index finger. And now inhale. So we'll do the chant that I did when you were in Shavasana. So it's Om Shraddhaye Namaha. So that's going to be our exhale. And don't worry if you don't have it perfectly, you'll get it by the end. So inhale, sliding up the index finger. Exhale. Om Shraddhaye Namaha. Next finger, inhale up. Om Shraddhaye Namaha. Inhale, next finger. Om Shraddhaye Namaha. Now we're going to go to a whisper. Om Shraddhaye Namaha. I'm doing it a little louder so you can hear me. Back to the index finger. Inhale up. Om Shraddhaye Namaha. Middle finger. Om Shraddhaye Namaha. Ring finger is going to be silent, but I'll do it so that you can hear me. Inhale up. Om Shraddhaye Namaha. Om Shraddhaye Namaha. And the last one, index finger. Om Shraddhaye Namaha. And then we're going to connect the index finger and the thumb, keeping our palms open and the other three fingers pointing away from us. And you can sit quietly or you can chant silently in your mind. Om Shraddhaye Namaha. So releasing your hands, you might rub your fingers or your hands together, thanking yourself for showing up and doing the practice, and you might want to know the meaning of that chant, and it's something I have been working on. Shraddha is faith. And so what we're saying when we repeat that chant is, I surrender to my faith in something greater than me, right? Whatever that is. So you're going to move in any way that your body needs to after you've thanked yourself for showing up and doing the practice. And let's close with one nice big Om. So an inhale. Thank you for being here. Namaste.